Monopoly is a very popular 2 to 8 player board game where the object of the game is to become the wealthiest player through buying, selling, and renting properties. Every player starts off with the same amount of money, and each has the goal to make smart financial decisions to put themselves in the best position to win the game and bankrupt the other players. Monopoly also has rules that makes the game less straightforward, but also more challenging to play, such as income tax, the system of improving properties, and the jail aspect. Fake money, which is part of Monopoly's materials, acts as a feedback system. The more you earn, the more excited you become as your greed grows and you set your sights on more property and different assets. Other than maybe during a forced family's game night or a very needy friend's party, participation in a game of Monopoly is completely voluntary, and everyone implicitly knows and agrees to follow the rules before the game starts. This is the New York Stock Exchange. Just like in a game of Monopoly, you can find the four aspects of a game. People who invest their money here have the clear intention of making the most money possible, similar to Monopoly. There are also rules to how they can do this as defined by the law. There's also a feedback system set in place. The more money people tend to make, the more they also seem to put back into the stock market to make even more money. And finally, investing your money is a completely voluntary decision, sort of like gambling. But unlike Monopoly, there's an extra part that comes with the New York Stock Exchange that Monopoly by definition will not have, and that is real world consequences in a real world time span. Games are amazing at creating shorter feedback loops than reality, giving the player an unnecessary obstacle that is relatively easy to conquer and can assure victory for the player within one or a few hours. This speeds up the feedback process and how often a gamer feels this Fiero sensation, which draws gamers back to their favorite games over and over again. But the issue comes afterwards, when gamers experience gamer's remorse. When gamers are done playing, they often realize that there are no real-world rewards for their so-called hard work, as McGonagall describes it. In reality, our feedback loops take a lot longer. Rather than simply putting down your free fake Monopoly money that is given to you at the beginning of the game and declaring that you want to invest in this property, you instead have to actually go out and make your money first. Then you have to actually research how to invest that money and what will make you a profit. And then once you invest, you have to wait for the right moment when you have earned enough until you have made a decent profit, and finally our feedback system is complete. This is a long game that not all people want or have the time to play. Unlike Monopoly, afterwards the rewards from this game in reality has real world consequences, either good or bad. If you find that you are good at this type of thing, the feeling of Fiero will last a lot longer than the Fiero you feel while playing a video game. So to McGonagall's quote, reality is too easy, I would say the opposite. If that were true, games wouldn't be so widely used or known as a means of escape from reality. Games guarantee an expected or foreshadowed end. Before we play a game, we implicitly know that to beat the game or to reach the intended goal is indeed possible because that's how the game was designed. In reality, there is no assurance that we will conquer our unnecessary obstacles, and therefore that makes it all the more harder. Reality is hard, while games can be challenging. The difference is between an I can't do it and an I just did that wrong. Even when someone is bored with their easy work, the reality of the situation is not that they will play the game because it is more challenging or harder, but because it is harder to deal with their boredom than exists within reality than to play the game. People would rather beat that level fast and feel that fear in that moment than wait for rewards that may or may not come within the feedback loop of reality. In the end, games still maintain their reps as great escapes from our everyday lives, but constant escape can have adverse effects on the reality in which we live. If we are constantly leaving reality for small pieces of Fiero, we can often find life to be unfulfilling and give up our ability to fully experience the extended Fiero that life itself can offer.